Fit Beauty babes, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I hope that you will become a part of my family and subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you're coming back, welcome back. Today we're going to be addressing this pimple in the room. Do you see this monstrosity? It's huge, it's ugly, it's inflamed, it's red. I picked it. Yes, I picked it. And I will tell you not to pick your own pimples, but you know, every once in a while, a girl has to do what a girl has to do. So, I'm going to show you guys my tips and tricks of how I create a flawless looking skin foundation routine, even with a pimple on, so you can learn how to conceal your own. And I'm using all drugstore products. So if you guys want to see this video, go ahead and watch. Now I'm going to go ahead and prime my face first. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. This is probably like my #1 favorite drugstore primer. It is so good. I'm just going to use a little bit on my fingers. I'm going to press it in. I'm going to still continue to do the same thing that I normally do on my face for my foundation routine. The only difference really being where I'm going to extra conceal any of my blemishes. I'm going to go in with foundation, and today I'm going to be using the Infallible Pro Glow Foundation by Loreal. Real Technique sponge, which is actually probably my favorite like drugstore sponge, and I just love this. I love this over any other Real Techniques sponges, but I still love my beauty blender. However, this one will do for today since we're doing all drugstore. And don't worry about if your blemish still shows through. We will address that. Once that is done, I'm going to go in with my favorite concealer. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Light Pale, which is probably going to be a little bit too light. I'm not too worried about that. I normally would use just a little bit darker of a color, but I can always go back over it with foundation. So if your concealer is lighter, which really you should just use like about a shade lighter or close to your natural shade of your foundation for this, but if it is lighter, don't stress too much, just get that coverage on. So I'm going to take this, just going to make sure there's enough product in there, and I'm going to pounce it right on to that blemish. And I have that age spot there, and then of course my forehead. Go in with a more buffing brush, a smaller one, and really get in there. And if you want, go back in with just a tad bit more of the foundation and kind of buff it on. Do the same thing to your other spots. So, and now that we have completed that, it is time to conceal underneath the eyes. Again, I'm going to use my Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. I'm going to go ahead and put this directly underneath my eyes. We are going to conceal before we move on to the rest of the face. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the Rimmel. This is the Match Perfection Silk Loose Face Powder. This is in the color Transparent a little bit, and I put it on the top of my lid. Just dip my brush here. This is kind of a domed shaped brush. Tap off any excess so you don't have a lot on there. And I'm just going to kind of lightly roll it underneath the eyes and across the top of my lid. And you are going to want to do this directly on top of your blemish as well to set it so it doesn't move. So just a little bit on top, and then you're going to just tap it in. And do it all over the areas in which you put the extra concealer and product. Being careful to not make it look cakey or overdone, so really pounce off the brush. And then just go in there and pounce right on top of where you have your blemish. Alright, now that is done, you still want to continue on and bronze up the skin, just make it look nice and beautiful. But first, I'm going to do my eyebrows off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so if I had a breakout in this area, I would probably keep contour away from it because I don't want to add anything to it, but because it's here and up here, I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to go ahead and add, this is the Model Co Contour Stick. And I'm just going to add a little bit right here. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to pounce this guy on and blend it up. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with these e.l.f. drops. They are their illuminating. This is the illuminating drop. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and use powders to set everything. I'm going to start off with the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, a IT Cosmetics brush, which I know is not a drugstore brush, but this is what we're going to use. And I'm just going to kind of lightly put it over where the contour was. Just a tiny bit of blush on my cheeks. I'm going to use the Maybelline. This is the Romantic Rose Powder Blush. I'm out here, tap off excess. And I'll carry a little bit across my nose here. And even just a tiny bit on the chin. And that is it. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and set everything on my face so it lasts and it doesn't move and it doesn't get all disgusting. So I'm going to use the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my sponge and I'm just going to pounce everything in so that way it really locks it in. This also just really melts everything together so it looks like perfect, flawless skin. And now just to finish off this look, I am going to put on the Rimmel Oh My Gloss. This is a oil tint by Rimmel London, and it is in the color Smart Pink. So that is what it's on my lips. It's just a soft kind of gloss. Feels so good and nourishing on the lips. I may put on a little bit of mascara, but sometimes not. Sometimes I just want it to be all about my skin. But this is the foundation routine that you can use anytime you have a spot that you need to conceal to look flawless and ready for your day ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Until next time, we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.